Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'm working with you step by step through each of the ABRSM theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets and you can download those in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. There's a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also find information about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time on exam day when you're actually working through your exam paper. So if you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it all there. If you can give me a like, that would be fab, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more in store. And now we're working our way through this sample paper for grade 3. This is a freely available paper to download from the ABRSM website. You can find the link to that in the description below. And also this is given to you to show you what the new look of the newly revised exam papers will be like from 2018 onwards. And so we've made a good start of this paper and we're going to carry on with that. So if you turn with me to page 3, and that will take us to question 6. So here we go, and as I always say, do have a go of this on your own. First of all, doesn't matter if it's catastrophically wrong, it's always better to just learn through those mistakes, always work in pencil, and so it doesn't matter, you can just rub it out and have another go, and you'll learn much more thoroughly that way than just by passively copying through it with me. So then, we're asked to add the correct rest or rests. Now that's the important point to notice. At the places marked with a little star to make each bar complete. Now it's not just enough to fill the gaps that are missing in the bar. We've also got to reflect this time signature. We need to reflect each new crotchet beat, each new quarter note, and the way that we group those rests. If you remember, the general rule of thumb is that every new beat needs a new rest. However, there are a couple of exceptions to that we'll meet as we go along. So then, we've got a little gap here and a little gap here. We should have 4 crotchet beats per bar, 4 quarter notes. And so I can see that there's 1 beat here, there's 1 beat here, there's a half a beat here and a half a beat here, so those two give us 1 beat. So we've got 1, 2, 3 beats so far. We should have 4. We've got 1 beat left and we need to divide that 1 beat between these two groups. Now let's see how that's going to have to divide. So we can see there's beat 1. We've got half a beat there, so we need to complete the half a beat to show there's beat 1. There's beat 2. Now the composer's written a syncopated offbeat rhythm here. There's nothing we can do about that. That's his executive decision. So there's beat 1, there's beat 2, there's beat 3, shunted over by half a beat. So we've got half a beat to complete that. So we've really just split the missing 1 beat rest into 2 at either end of the bar. Let's look at the next bar. Now there's a massive gap here. We should have 4 beats per bar. We've got 1 beat here. We've only got half a beat here though. So first job is to complete that half a beat to make another beat. So we've got 2 crotchet beats, 2 quarter notes now. So that leaves us 2 beats left still. Now you'd be easily mistaken to think that we need to do 2 beats because each new beat needs a new rest. However, the rule is so long as you don't cross over the middle point of the bar, which we won't be doing because there's 1 beat, there's another, that's 2 beats. This is the other half of the bar. You can show those 2 rests as a minim rest, a 2 beat rest or a half note rest. So that would be the final correct answer. That's your thinking, and then you would just think, no, I can do that in a half a bar. I can only think that it's because 4/4 is such a long bar that the performer needs to see easily where each half of the bar falls. let's carry on. So there's a bit of maths going on here, so let's look at each beat individually. We've got a quarter of a beat rest and a quarter of a beat note, so that gives us a half a beat. We've got one beat here, so you can see we're going to have to finish this half beat first. Let's see what happens here. We've got 3/4 and a quarter there, that gives us one beat, and we can see they're beamed together, so that's another clue that there's one beat. If you're not sure, I just visualize it. There's a half a beat with that quaver, that 8th note. The dot is half as much again, and then we've got a semiquaver 16th note that completes our beat. So there. So we've got one beat there and we've got half a beat there. So 1, 2, 3, we've got one beat left to give as a rest, but it would not be correct to just do a one beat rest, because we need to split that rest in half to finish this beat here and also begin this beat here, because we've got 1.5 beats here. So there's the final half a beat to make that minim beat group. There's half the bar, and then we've got one beat here, half a beat here, so we need to add another half a beat rest. So we can see that we've completed each half of the bar, and in fact each full beat, with a rest. So there we go. So you just be careful that you need to divide that rest into 2 half beats. Let's look at this last bar. So we've got a quarter of a beat here and 3/4 of a beat here. That gives us one beat. There's another beat. So there's 2, 2.5. So we need to finish that half. That makes 3. So that's that third beat complete. And then that leaves us one more beat for a crochet beat rest. Quite a bit of work in that one there, because we've got to keep on making sure that each beat is complete before we move on to the new rest. Let's look at the next question. So question 7. This one is not difficult at all, particularly if you've written out your list of key signatures, major and minor related keys and their key signatures. So quickly just sketch out your circle of fifths before you even start your paper. With practice you can do that super duper quick. If you're not sure how to do that, I've done a video tutorial on the circle of fifths, and you can find the link to that in the description below and also in the cards. And then once you've done that, you've done all your thinking in one go, and you can just relax and refer back to it. So let's have a crack at this. So A major, this is the tonic triad, and we need to add the correct clef, and we need to add the key signature to make these correct. So in order for this to be A major, our tonic, our lowest note must be A, C, E, first, third, fifth, but ultimately we can just look at that bottom note and know that should be an A. For that to be the case, it needs to be in the bass clef, otherwise you'd make that into an F and then that would be incorrect. And then A major has a key signature of 3 sharp, so just position those in the bass clef, F, C, G. So F minor, of course, must have a tonic of an F. And so for that lowest note to be an F, we need to be in treble. And F minor is related to A flat major, which has a key signature of B flats, E flats, A flats, D flats. Now this next one needs to be the tonic of an E flat. The key signature will deal with the flat, so let's just find note E here. So we want E, G, B, first, third, fifth. And so for that to be the case, this needs to be in the bass clef, otherwise that would be a middle C in the treble clef. So that's bass clef. And then the key signature for E flat major is B flats, E flats, A flats. Remember, it always goes past one beyond the key note. That's just another little clue to remember in your key signatures. So next one, for this to be E major, we need this tonic to be an E. We know in the treble clef the spaces spell face, F-A-C-E, so that would be correct. So we need a treble clef. And then E major has a key signature of 4 sharps. Always when there's one sharp it's F sharp. When it's 2 sharp, it's always F sharp, C sharp. When it's 3 sharps, F, C, G. And when it's 4, F, C, G, D. There's all sorts of little mnemonics that you can use to help you remember that. 5 cats go down an empty barrel is the full shebang. Or I think there's a Father Christmas goes down something or other. You can just make all sorts. Father Charles, I can't remember now. There's lots of alternatives anyway. I'm sure you can all share how many wonderful little rhymes and things you can use to remember that. However, that's that completed. Let's move on. So for this to be B minor, we need this to be a B, and in the treble clef, every good boy, that would be correct. If you wrote that in bass clef, that would be good boys deserve, and then that's not correct. And B minor is related to D major, which has a key signature of 2 sharps, F sharp, C sharp. There we go. So that actually, once you've got your circle of fifths written out, you've done all the thinking, that question becomes easy peasy. And now here on question 8, we get a real glimpse at how this paper has changed from previous years. I still recommend that you do work on the previous year's past papers, an excellent revision resource. The fact that the layout of the paper has changed isn't really a massive deal. It's still the same topic. In this newly revised paper, we don't have any composition of a rhythm, and also now we have all of these performance directions and symbols as multiple choice. I don't know if that makes it any easier for us, because oftentimes we can get tricked by a little red herring by not quite reading these correctly, so you still need to revise these. Remember, it's all of grades 1, 2 and 3 performance directions accumulated, so there's quite a lot to be revising there. I suggest you just group things thematically, even colour code it, whatever it takes to help you to revise these. And so they've shown us what to do. Subito means suddenly, and so we tick that box. So meno, mosso, we've got 2 things to deal with here. Meno is less. And mosso movement, so less movement, so we've actually got slower. Our tempo, I think we first came across that in grade 1 actually, it's a while ago. That means in time. Ordinarily that's after the tempo is changed, and so we go back to the original speed, we go back in time, not historically. So now this one, it's not difficult to guess that this means rhythmically. Nice root word link there, we can see ritmico, rhythmically. Stringendo is gradually getting faster. That one doesn't seem terribly obvious to me, so you've just got to be aware of it and revise it. And then leggero means light. So that's the end of that question, that's the end of that page. We've got one more question left, and we'll leave that for the next video. I do hope that's been helpful to you. I hope it's helping you with your studies. I also hope that you're enjoying it. I'm certainly enjoying working through it with you. If you can give me a like, that would be really fab, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more in store. Please do visit sharonbill.com and make use of all of the resource and information that's available there to help you. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.